I'm Robin Lockwood. I grew up in Esther, Alaska, which is a small town in the interior of the state, and grew up with that Alaska-Hawaii connection, right? So it was a place near and dear to my family. I graduated with a Bachelor's of Science degree in marine science, and because of the prerequisite or the GREs that you need, it perfectly lined up to get an education certificate as well. And so it just kind of naturally flowed with the time of day that I like to take classes. I knew since I was really tiny that I wanted to be a marine biologist, but didn't really understand what that meant. And so by going to the UH Hilo, I studied marine science and realized that I liked chemistry more than biology, actually. And it was through them that my career totally changed paths, but not entirely, in the fact that I liked talking about science more than I liked performing the procedures of science, basically. And so the education certificate really helped just mold my journey into becoming a science teacher rather than a scientist in practice. Yeah, so I graduated with my degree in marine science and the certificate in education. And throughout the process of getting the BS in marine science, I was required to do multiple different internships and practicums. And so I did that through the Alaska Sea Life Center and the National Park Service, and really loved connecting with people and sharing about conservation efforts and science. And so that led to some different programs. And even after I had graduated from the University of Hawaii, professors were still sharing ideas and jobs with me. And I ended up in China teaching science at a private school in Beijing for a little bit, and then decided to go back and get a master's of science in outdoor and environmental science education. And after working at numerous different science education jobs, I decided to go back and get a certificate to teach in public school. And so added that along the way. And so now I am a high school, actually math and digital media teacher right now, but teach science as an ad needed basis, I guess, for my school district. I love that the question asks, where am I in my career journey? Because there's no, like, I don't feel like there's an end right now. I'm always trying to add one piece or another that always comes like when you least expect it, right? So right now I live in Wasilla, Alaska, so kind of south central. And I teach at actually the largest school district on the west coast of the United States. So that is land-wise, not student-based. And I started by teaching science and now have transitioned into math and digital media. And so I have students that range from 9th grade all the way up to 12th grade. And the really interesting part is that I would never have gotten this position as a digital media teacher. But when I was at UHH, I worked for the Outdoor Adventure program as a dive master and would take videos and photos of all of our students and just kind of played around with Adobe Premiere and all of these different software programs. And so when they were looking, someone was phasing out and they were looking to someone to phase in, it was a natural transition, as it was just a small pastime of mine in college to do this. And so fun that it's come full circle. The location is perfect, right? For someone who's going into marine science, or even friends who have studied geology or biology, or all of these different pieces that require the natural world. I was out diving or snorkeling every week with classes, and it was easy to get on research projects with professors that would never happen with friends of mine that went to large schools in the lower 48, or the mainland, as we call it in Hawaii. The other piece that was really important, coming from a state like Alaska with an indigenous population, that I felt like it was culturally diverse, and I was learning every day about who I am and my presence on the earth as it compares to others. And so I appreciate the location because of that, but then the resources that it gave me to discover who I am and how to not be the most dominant person in the room that my skin often connotates, right? but because UHH is a small school and every professor truly cares about you, I am not joking that I still have email correspondence every other month with professors in education as well as marine science. And still people will tell me, because I am teaching science, oh, we just did this. Do you want to share with your students what's going on? Or some of my education professors have become like lifelong friends because they truly care about who I am as an individual and want to make sure that I continue to grow in this career journey, right, as I am here. The other piece that I guess that it's like resource based, but I have shared that I have numerous degrees and professors don't always have a love of teaching, but I noticed that even if I was taking organic chemistry or calculus 4, my teachers were there to teach, not just do research. And so it was so nice to have professors who shared a love of teaching like myself and really, were there for every one of their students. I broke this up into numerous categories because there's so many great things that I want to share. And truly, with my students who are trying to decide on colleges, I'm like a broken record about a few things, my dog and UHH. Like, truly, it is a school that I recommend to everyone because I love, as you said, the small town feel, right? It's truly a family that I appreciate. So the one way that helped prepare me is academically, right? We have highly skilled professors who are passionate about their subject area, but then are great at teaching. I also really appreciate the partnerships that those professors and those programs develop. So in the education program, you are in schools every week if you want to be. You have teachers who are sharing their career path and how they got there. And as the marine science side of things, there's internships, volunteer opportunities, job opportunities constantly shared and truly available for you. They are not just going to go unanswered. I really appreciated, and I think looking back on it more than when I was a student, I really appreciated all of the library's resources of having everything at my fingertips. If I asked for something, they would even purchase a subscription to a journal just because I was the person who was interested in reading about it, which was pretty special. As someone who went on to get more degrees, I had to take the GREs and the praxis exam, and there were great testing resources available to me, which was really lovely. And as math and science minded person, English is, or writing is not my strong suit. And so it was nice to have tutoring available in every aspect. And just because all of those things are available, I now know how to ask for help in my life because there are options for anything, right? As far as campus life and extracurriculars, I worked for the outdoor adventure program. And before I did as a junior and a senior, I made great friends and had an activity on the weekend that connected me not only to the campus, but to the island. And that, I think, made it easier to stay, right? That you start to love the Big Island. I also worked for, I don't actually know what it was called. I was a tour guide because I love UHH so much. And so that was fun to have a job and meet different people and really get comfortable with the teaching side of things. The other piece is that I was lucky enough to play tennis for UHH, which helped instill just team camaraderie and how to work together. And once again, we were from all places around the world, which was nice to have a culturally diverse group of people.